So I know you and I were talking here recently. For people who don't realize, Bryson changed drivers during the final round, and I think that might have thrown the average recreational golfer for a bit of a loop. The thought of a pro changing drivers before the final round of a major championship. But as you mentioned to me, this is pretty common for Bryson. He's a bit like a baseball player where he plays the hot hand. So if maybe a driver's not working, he's totally fine trying another one out. Do you or have you known anybody before out on tour who's ever employed such a tactic? And has Bryson been doing this since he started at Cobra, where he's just totally fine changing drivers out if one just doesn't seem to be working for him?
Yeah. So of all the things that he may do that appear to be different and maybe not the norm amongst his peers, um, I honestly find that to probably be the most unusual thing. As far as like what he does with driver, and we talked about that yesterday, that he has three, four, and even sometimes five drivers on deck, and it's more of a rotation than it is having an absolute gamer, having the perfect backup, and then maybe one more backup in there. I mean, he just rotates them, and that is very uncommon. I mean, that's uncommon for obviously guys like us. It's super uncommon unless you're the gear junkie who just brings a new driver to the range or the golf course every time. But to have one brand and one loft and the same shaft, and then to continually rotate them, I mean, that's completely unheard of. Most guys have their gamer that they're comfortable with. They hopefully have at least one backup that they're comfortable with, and that's kind of status quo. That's pretty normal amongst players on the PGA Tour. So to literally play Thursday and Friday with one driver, and then put another one in on Saturday, and then maybe another different one in on Sunday, that's not very common. That's not very common on tour.
Kind of figured.
But to him, um, they're all very similar. It's not like there's a big change in loft. Everything is 5.25 to maybe 5.75 degrees of loft. The shaft remains the same, and really the overall head weights don't change. And I think it's just, to him, it's more of an appearance. And like you said, it's like with a baseball bat, what one feels hot, and what one's just happens to feel really good, at that on that day, on that week.